Hello and welcome. I'm Master Lama Rasaji, and this is the Wednesday edition of Rasaji Speaks. Let's see what our title is today. Mastering Your Finances in 2024, the Year of the Dragon. I want to remind you that tomorrow we've got a special treat for PFL members, right? So if you're a member of the Circle of Chi, that webinar is free to that basic membership. And it's about earning money front door, time intensive, but it's also about earning money back. Yeah, so tomorrow, based on that, we've been doing videos every Thursday from 1 to 2 Eastern time. There's just about 20 different videos now that have to do with residual income, that have to do with investing, have to do with working in an affiliate program, whether it's the Circle of Chi program or Transact or iHercules. And we're going to be bringing a couple more things there. One of the things I was always taught to do is make sure you start the year right by always adding 1 or 2 new income streams to your portfolio. At any given time, we should have at least 5 to 10 different income streams coming in. And when one goes by the wayside, we want to replace it with 1 or 2 more. And that will make you financially strong. But getting into today's lesson, and Sister Lynette's going to interview Lamaji tomorrow about my financial background for over 30 years and how I view the markets a little different than everybody. So energy is the currency of life, right? And we should look at assets as different currencies. And some assets have intrinsic value. When you look at gold and silver, precious gems, crystals, earth itself, you know, my dad used to say, son, buy property. God's only making so much of that. Well, that's a smart thing to do. But have you ever heard people say, man, I've made a lot of money and I've lost a lot of money? What I've noticed about people, there's different stages of money management and money stability. Warren Buffett, the biggest billionaire investor in the world, I mean, he's as big in the stock market for over 50 years, right, as Elon Musk is for being the greatest innovator with technology of our time. Started PayPal. Now he's got Tesla, he's got a rocket company, took over Twitter. He's trying to turn Twitter into a Facebook and a PayPal. I mean, that's real innovation, right? But Warren Buffett said, man, cash doesn't make you much money, but I sure feel good and sleep good at night because I have enough cash. Lama Seri says, we need to treat assets as forms of currency. And if energy is the currency of life, the assets that vibrate the highest frequency, we kind of want to pay attention to that. Whether it's crypto with Bitcoin, whether it's owning gold and silver, you know, the intrinsic and solid matter, or I'm investing in a mutual fund that invests in silver and gold, maybe mines. There's a lot of way to balance a portfolio. The key of it is how well are you managing? I like Robert Kiyosaki's concept of managing. He has this concept called the wealth factor. Self-control is very important. If you don't learn to take the emotions out of managing money, you will always be at the bottom. Your bank account will always be small. Your investments, you'll be lucky if you have any, because you don't understand about management. And a lot of people are fearful of money. I remember my first prosperity guru that I attended over 40 years ago walked around with the Ben Franklin, and he would hit people across the face and say, see, money doesn't hurt a bit. I remember the richest man in Babylon that wrote a book that's kind of a watered down version of how wealthy the Babylonians were. And his mantra was, part of all I earn is mine to keep. Part of all I earn is mine to keep. People will pay everything else, and at the end of the month, instead of the beginning of the month, they'll think about saving something if there's anything left to save. When you pay yourself first, everything changes. You will intrinsically be guided spiritually and psychically to manage money. Did you know that you have an output of a vibration of expectancy every month of what you're going to make? You know that if you lost your investment tomorrow, if you lost your job the next week, you are already broke the psychic portal that somebody's going to offer you an investment, or they're going to offer you a job that will vibrate to the right frequency of the cash flow you just gave up. Did you know that? But what happens if you take the cash flow to a whole new level of expectancy? And are you responsible as a servant leader or a steward or a custodian of Abba or Brahm's finances? Because really, when you look at it, just like life itself, the energy and light that God gives you, all assets, all currencies are a form of an extension of our Maker. And he's allowing us to administer that based on what we're vibrating and who you see in the mirror when you're doing your mirror meditation. That's important. So tomorrow, again, we're going to talk about managing money. You got to have some in order to manage it. We're going to talk about how you get it, how most people lose it, never get it back. When in the lotto, remember, 1/3 of the people who win the lotto, 5 million, 10 million, 20 million, 7 years later are broke or are deeper in the hole than they were before. About 1/3 of people, it's kind of stabilized. They've lost and gained and lost and gained, but 7 years later, whatever they got in the lotto, that 5, 10, 20 million, that's still about their net worth. Only 20 to 30% grow that wealth. Only 20% grow that wealth. Do you know, and I'll leave you today on Rasaji Speaks with this, and maybe this will get you to want to come to tomorrow's live webinar. 5% of the people in the world control 95% of the wealth of the world. How would you like to be part of that 5%? How would you like to leave that slave mentality, get off the hamster wheel, and get into the arena of prosperity? Well, that's why we call Prosperity for Life webinar every Thursday from 1 to 2 o'clock Eastern time. So come check us out and come listen to what Sister Lynette will ask Lama G tomorrow. I think you'll find it very interesting. When you view money from the spiritual realms, it's totally different. And you learn varigi, detachment. When you can be detached from it, it's amazing what starts to happen. Must have been what King Solomon understood. King Solomon understood. You know, they said if King Solomon lived today, he would be worth more than the dragon family in China who's been around for over 300 years. And they say that family is worth about $30 trillion. $30 trillion. The biggest banks in the world are between 5 and 10 trillion in assets. One family growing their wealth for 300 years is worth over $30 trillion, bigger than any bank today that's operating. It's pretty phenomenal. How would you like to learn to do that and be your own bank? Baraka Bashai, may the blessings be to you and to your glorious family. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Thursday, on Rasaji Speaks. And don't forget about the 1 o'clock webinar tomorrow. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.